Who do Canadians trust less? Politicians, corporations, or journalists? That story kicks off the roundup. Statistics Canada asked Canadians whether they were confident in public institutions. Just 30% of respondents said they had confidence in major corporations. That's less than the proportion who had confidence in federal government, and well below the percentage with confidence in the media. Harumph. The justice system and courts, banks, and the school system and the police all earned increasingly higher scores. Nicole Verkindt is the founder and president of OMX. Thank you for being here. I got to tell you, I was surprised here that the banks number was so high, 61%, and major corporations were 30%. What did you think when you read this study?
I mean, first of all, I thought it was good news that the trust was so high in police and government.
Yeah.
I looked at the numbers in the U.S. and they were a lot lower. I mean, police was below 50%, I guess because of what's going on lately, but Congress was the lowest out of the entire list.
Right.
And my belief has just been that is government's role and the police system's role. We're supposed to trust them, they're supposed to protect us. That's their role. With corporations, that's not their job.
Yeah, one of my questions is, do I care? Do I care as a Canadian that trust is low for corporations? I don't know. Do you care? Do you think that's a problem? Is it something to be addressed?
Look, corporations do not want to win this contest. This isn't a contest they want to win. I think we have the ability to vote with our dollar when it comes to corporations, and if we stop trusting them, we don't want to buy their product, we stop right away. And I definitely with the millennials, we're seeing a trend now where more and more corporations, it's called the evolved enterprise, they're starting to become more socially conscious. You know, you eat lunch at Freshie because they have hormone-free chicken, and you buy Bombas socks because one pair goes to a homeless person. And I think we're seeing this evolution. And at the end of the day, consumers are going to vote with their dollar. And you know, our concern needs to lie in the fact that this is a good news story, and that it's amazing that government and police and our justice systems are seeing it so high up.
I was also wondering from a marketing and PR perspective whether this was product or promotion that affected that variable. Whether or not it was actually people's belief in policing and them seeing that on the ground, or if they see and read what they see out there and say, wow, at least we aren't the U.S. chasing after people. I mean, there's just been a scandal a day on that front there.
Interesting. That's kind of like how people say there's a ton of, shark attacks, but it's just because they see them every once in a while on TV.
And we can't go in the ocean because there's going to be a shark attack.
Yeah. I mean, are you really surprised by this, though? We've had a tough year. Volkswagen, we've had that entrepreneur that not doubled, from $13 to $750.
Yeah.
The drug overnight.
Neither are Canadian companies.
Right.
So that's an interesting insight in that our data may be skewed by people who are doing bad things in other countries.
Yeah, even the word corporation, right? As soon as you see it, you think Wall Street.
Yeah.
And you think,
I don't want to be part of that.
There's a whole bunch of family businesses and a whole bunch of companies that would fall underneath that.
Well, the next story, the government of Japan scaling back its plan to shatter the glass ceiling and put more women in positions of power. The original goal was to have 30% of senior management roles be filled by women by 2020. Now Japan says it's aiming to have just 7% of senior government jobs filled by women and 15% for the private sector. A report from Goldman Sachs estimated that closing Japan's gender employment gap could provide a big boost to the country's flagging economy. What did you think of this story? First of all, are you a believer in targets when it comes to gender?
Affirmative action.
I know, I'm just going to take the can of worms, I'm going to uncork it there.
Just open it up. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, if you're going into a room and you know that you're there because you have to be there, I mean, what does that do to you as a woman?
Target and a quota is not the same thing. They're talking about targets.
True. So targets are good, and I think the entire world needs to move towards this. We absolutely need to move there, but Japan should be doing this like the rest of the world should be doing this. When I say doing this, I mean thinking about increasing the amount of women participation, especially in leadership roles, because you're going to create better government and you're going to create more profitable corporations. And there is data out there that shows that. Yeah. And I think as long as we keep sticking to that, it's going to be a good thing.
The interesting thing for me here is that this was an economy booster. That was their rationale, which